Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are tuning in from, and welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV with your boys Dave and Jacob, who will bring you all the way through to the live watch along. Big game today. Of course, we want to win because we want to keep pace with that top four. 3 points behind City. A win would do us very good heading into the weekend. But it is time to become lumberjacks, Jacob. Maintain that forest. What sort of game? First of all, how are you? And what sort of game are you expecting today? Do you expect Spurs to rock up and show that cutting edge we showed against Newcastle last week, or do you think it'd be a bit of a tighter game with Steve Cooper's job on the line?
Look, Steve Cooper's job on the line, irrespective of all that, I'm doing well. David, I hope you are as well. Everyone in the chat, make sure you are hitting a like for We Are Tottenham TV one time. But for me, David, my expectations, you have to build on the momentum that we have been creating. Because if not, then what is the momentum built up for? We are starting this roll, big up Sklarsh. We are starting this roll, and let's keep it going. Let's roll through this forest. Let's plow over some trees. We are the mighty Tottenham Hotspurs, so no reason we shouldn't go out there and get the job done. In the previewing a opponent, I like to look at a lot of different things, and all the things I was looking at, Dave, I think we should go get the job done today. That's my expectation. I'm going to hold the boys to that expectation, and I hope the lads can come through. I'm very excited to see what Ange Postecoglou has cooking up for us in the midfield. What kind of front three we're going to go for? Is it going to be the same thing as last week? I know we'll talk about it. We'll find out in just about 13 minutes. So, but Dave, what about you? I'll ask you the same question. How are you feeling going into this? You think we're going to roll through this forest, or how do you see this happening?
Look, I'm a bit apprehensive about today's game. First of all, big up there, girl. Hopefully you're keeping well, and hopefully you should not be down at the yard by now. With the boys settling in for the game, or maybe it's a bit too early for that. But big up there, girl. Good to see you in, my man. Look, Jacob, for me, I think it's one of them games. I think, look, Forest, I do believe a lot of them players like the manager, and they will sort of try to dig in and try and get a result. What I will say is Forest have turned over two sort of big teams that you wouldn't have expected this year, Chelsea and Aston Villa. We have to remember that the Aston Villa one was at home. I am expecting a tight game. I think they'll put five across the back and look to keep it tight and hit us on the counter. And I think that sort of game would actually suit them with Elanga one side, Adoy the other side, and Chris Wood through the middle. But look, it's up to us now to grasp this opportunity. We've got 4 winnable fixtures now for December. We've got Nottingham Forest tonight, Everton on the 23rd, and we also have Brighton and Bournemouth. 4 winnable fixtures. Win them, you should see yourself inside the top 4 with some of that top 4 playing each other over the next couple of weeks. But look, I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I think it's one where we'll have to work hard. The onus is going to be on us to break them down. And this is where I want to see Tottenham at their best, free flowing like they were against Newcastle. Not that performance we've seen against West Ham, where, look, let's be brutally honest of it. We played everything in front of that, in front of their back line, and we ended up getting caught on the counter. It could very easily be one of them nights again tonight. But it's a true test of this team. We've been here before. We're actually at the same stage right now where we are in terms of win, draws, losses, goals scored, and goals conceded, where we were underneath Antonio Conte last season. The exact same. Everything is the exact same.
That's actually crazy.
That's
actually insane. I'm not questioning the validity, but I'm just flabbergasted, Dave, that is actually a true statement that you just made. That's absurd because it doesn't feel that way. I guess hindsight can always be 2020, revisionist history, so to speak. But hey, I remember being excited about what Antonio Conte was saying, and then and the things we were doing. But then it all quickly fell apart very, very quickly. But it just doesn't have that feeling with me with Ange Postecoglou. It doesn't feel as, oh, I'm lucky to have him here, just like we are lucky to have Ash Maddock here. What's up, Ash?
What's going on, people? You good?
It's baller.
Same, boys.
Good, and yourself. We were just speaking about, what sort of game are you expecting tonight? You nervous? You expecting Tottenham to go up there and steamroll them? What do you expect tonight?
Yeah, I think I'm a bit nervous, only because at home we've got the home support. The energy's a little bit different at home. When we're away from home, the boys have actually got a decent form away from home this season. We've actually done better. But nonetheless, we don't really push the same way against teams that low block us. If it's teams that come at us, that's when I'm more confident. But teams that like to sit off, let us have the ball, try to make it difficult for us, a bit like West Ham, Yeah, it's one of those ones. But I'm glad that, or I'm hoping that we carry on with the same team that we had from the last game, and we try to pick up some type of like consistency. Because I thought the players on the right hand side worked, if that makes sense. The partnerships between like your Poros, your SARS, and even Brennan Johnson and Kulu sometimes when he did join up. So I'm hoping that stays pretty much the same. And then on the left hand side, we've got that same again with your doggy, Son, and even Ben Davies pulling out wide at times to play balls over the top into like your Sons or even your Richarlisons. Because Richarlison, I felt he was pressing a little bit different to what you'd see from Son. He's got a lot more of a physical presence. And I think that could give Nottingham Forest a lot of trouble. Someone that's just going to be a nuisance in their air. And the thing is, he wasn't just trying to press from the front in the box. He was dropping a little bit deeper in that kind of midfield area, winning the ball back, joining up with our midfielders, like trying to press the ball. And so if we carry on with that type of football, then we can cause Forest a lot of trouble. Because let's face it, their form stinks at the moment. So I think we should take advantage of that. The team, they've got something to prove. Obviously, they need to get that win, play for the manager. But I mean, in terms of quality, they're missing their top striker, aren't they? Their top centre forward, and he was the one that was getting them through games. So, I mean, we've got every reason now to push on and make a statement here if we are serious, serious about what we're doing this season. But I just think, for me, every player has a higher ceiling, if that makes sense. So you look at Sarr. For me, I want to see him shooting a lot more. I think he can. I think he can do it. I think he can get in the box a lot more as well. He's box to box. There's no reason why I can't see Sarr making an impact in that offensive way or even assisting. Do you know what I mean? I know that's not really what people see him as.
It's interesting you say that because, Ash, I'm kind of wanting to see him pass better in the final third. For me, Sarr does everything an hour and a half perfectly. I don't want to change anything you do an hour and a half, Papa Matsar. What I would like to see, and I've seen Son get very frustrated with him at times where he does take the shot on where maybe there was a better option to play it off. And I've seen that a few times. Okay. Everyone's worried that you in a low ceiling room there, Ash, but everything look crispy to me. Everyone feels ready for this match. Yo, I feel like the fact that it's been so long since Newcastle, maybe people are not, really thinking that we're going to go out there and put the work on them. There's only one match that I look at Nottingham Forest and I say, wow, they did really good there so far. And that's versus Aston Villa when they won 2-0 at home. And that's when everyone said, oh, Aston Villa has poor away form. And that turned out to not be true. They're just really good at home, and sometimes I can overshadow their away form. But, Ash, I'm just, where do you think that they're actually going to attack us from? Regardless of their starting lineup, I'm looking at, people tell me Morgan Gibbs-White is someone I have to look out for. He's got one goal, 1 assist in the Premier League.
He's a good player.
Yeah. No, statistically, if you just look at the stats, then you think, meh. But if you watch him, actually, and if you saw him at England under 21s, he was one of their standout players. Technically,
yeah, I remember that coming out of the 21.
I even forget that. I was watching him last season, and I actually thought he looked better than Brendan Johnson. I'll be real. And so obviously we went for Brendan Johnson instead of him, and I was like, you know what, this kid, like, and I used them, like I scouted him, and I said, if we're not going to get Maddison. And I looked at some alternatives. I said, hey, this Gibbs guy, he's not bad. Like if you look at him properly, like I know, like statistically, it depends what stats you read, but like when I see him on the ball, I just
look at the stats that I think are most important, which is goals, assists. Those to me, as a front three, that's what you need. That's what you want. That's what you're looking for. And if you can show that you could at least get Richarlison numbers at a lower tier, I think that shows that, hey, they can go and get a goal. And I'm just wondering, just educate me. And Dave, maybe like Morgan Gibbs-White, what is he going to do to us? What am I supposed? Because it's not goals and assists. Is it that hockey assist? Is it the assist before the assist type of thing? What are we talking about?
Look, just on that, what I will say is Morgan Gibbs right whipped us apart when he played for Wolves. If anybody remembers that,
Yeah.
I think it was under Jose Mourinho, he gave an absolute masterclass in midfield that day, and he was the youngest player on the pitch. Morgan Gibbs White is a good player in terms of he'll pick up the ball, he'll drive at people, he can find passes. Look, usually I think he is better in the final third. But make no mistakes about it, he's a very tidy player and can go and win a game just like that. He's done it before against us. I don't know what. Anything you want to add to that, Ash?
Like basically, if you look, because where the stats are maybe misleading is that you might compare him against forwards, and he's actually a midfielder. He's actually a midfielder, so really you should be comparing him to other midfielders. I know like his stats aren't crazy at the moment for this season, but if you look at his past seasons and look what
if
he
you
does
view him as from a midfielder standpoint, which is to Dave's point, when he did dominate us versus Spurs, I do remember. Obviously, I don't forget names. Even Kiefer Moore, I remember his name. Dude was on a hat trick versus us not too long ago. So I remember names, and I do remember. Just trying to play a little bit of devil's advocate. The guy's form this season. He is one of their highest rated players. Like if you look at any of those statistical sites like SofaScore, but for me, do you see him being played more as what role do you see him playing in their
what
side?
it is basically
We do have
they're missing
lineups coming out in
forwards.
4 minutes, by the way.
They're basically missing their centre forwards, so that's why he's playing further up, because actually he has got the qualities to finish like if he's in front of goal. So that's why they need to get him there. That actually he's out of position. Normally he's the man to feed the man up top, if that makes sense. So, but I was gonna say, like the last game I saw, I thought Neco Williams was quite decent. He's got a decent cross on him, and he's playing out wide where Johnson used to be, and he's doing quite some damage. And then that United guy, the guy they got from United, the youngster, Alanga, I thought he didn't do too bad at Forest. He started off quite well. So I mean, they're not like exceptional, but these are their danger guys. Basically, these are the guys because they're going to play a low block and they're going to try and hit like direct. They're going to try and go long. So the last game I saw was like a 5-3-2, I think it was. So like a Conte style, kind of with the wing backs, overlapping. So it's that type of ball that's what I'm expecting under the lights tonight. And we're going to have a lot of the ball, and they're going to let us have a lot of the ball, but they're going to try and hit us on the counter from what I can see. And depending on what team they're facing, they might switch it up a little bit because they haven't used that tactic all season round. They've been switching it up. They've been trying to be a little bit more solid because they were conceding a lot of goals. So I think the managers thought, you know what, how can I survive in this climate? I need to hang on to my job. And he even came out and said to the fans, like, I didn't even deserve this because we've been so poor. And he's going to say to the lads, look, I don't want to go out there and they're clapping me. Make them be proud of us and make them deserve like us, make the fans proud and make them happy. So I'm expecting for them to fight. But if they do come at us, if they actually do try to come at us, that's going to play into our hands, I reckon.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more with that whatsoever. But look, I don't think they will. I think they'll set themselves up for the counter attack, and I think that's where it becomes a bit of a banana peel for Tottenham, if you like, because we've seen this season, Brentford 2-2, low block, sit everyone in front of the ball, and West Ham done it to us as well. We've had trouble against teams like that play that sort of system. So I'm a bit apprehensive, but look. And in years gone by, you're not in the Forest have done a start. You knocked us out the Carabao Cup last year and stuff like that on the Conte as well. So, look, tonight will be a true test to see, if the big change in Ange ball. Like I said, we're at the very exact same all across the board in terms of the stats on the league table where we were with Conte last season. So let's see whether this team have the balls to pick themselves up out of that dip in form and push on, or whether they're going to mellow out like they did last season. But look, the lineups are out in just 1 minute's time. Just quickly, I'll throw this to you, Jacob. Do you think we'll see maybe an Edozie or Romero maybe rested tonight? Because if both of them are walking the tightrope, if they pick up a yellow, they're out for that game against Everton on the 23rd. Do you think we'll see any surprises, any of them rested or that for the Everton game?
I don't expect that to be the case, Dave, just personally because I feel like Angel's going to say, it is your job to play clean tonight. Y'all both know what's at stake here. Romero, here's looking at you. I just hope he plays clean. I think we need him to play clean for another 2-3 games, something like that. So we're gonna need him to walk that tightrope. I don't think resting him does anyone good, because then you could say he falls out of sharpness if he goes. I mean, we have 10 days until our next game. I think it is after this, so we have a little bit of time to rest and recuperate, regardless of our feet. But I know the lineups are ready. Dave, you want to
Yeah.
share this with the people? The lineups have officially dropped.
So the lineups are out, everyone. As you can see, it's actually unchanged from last week. Big Vic, then Vicario on goals. Pedro Porro delivers UK wide out at right back. Romero and Ben Davies continue their partnership in the middle with Edoji at left back. Basuma, Sarr and Kulu take the midfield with Johnson on the right, Son on the left, and Richarlison down the middle. On the bench, Roger Foster, Epson Royal, Alfie Dorrington, who I'd love to see get an appearance soon. Eric Dyer, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Ollie Skip, Brian Hill. Be interested to see whether Donnelly can get another appearance off the bench, and also Felice as well. So there are your lineups. Jacob, we'll go to you as well, and then we'll head back down to Ash again. I mean, Ben Davies, can he replicate that game that he had against Newcastle? Going forward, can he do it again tonight and give us a run of them sort of games? Because ultimately, that's what we need from him.
Absolutely. Look, Ben Davies, some said last match was his best match in a Spurs shirt ever. I don't know if I would go to that level. I would say at some point there might be something in the archives of Ben Davies that we forget about. Look, I think everybody has to step up. It's not just Ben Davies. It is Richarlison as well. It is Kulusevski in that forward midfield role that I'm really enjoying seeing him in. I think that it's going to be revolutionary to him as a player, and potentially for us in regards to the problem that we had in the summer. We all said we don't have a James Maddison backup. I think we can at least say Kulusevski can now play two different positions for us, and one I would like to see preferably more than the other, and that's in that progressive 10. But he'll also track back and do the work defensively. He's got an engine that just never stops, and as a winger, he was running the most on the pitch out of anybody in the Premier League. So if he does that in the midfield, I love our chances with him in there defensively going forward. I think he also opens a lot of options up for Kulusevski still, because again, on the right, you really have two options when you're one-on-one with your man. That's cut inside and try and beat him with some tech, or go around him with some speed. And we know Kulusevski's not going to go around him with some speed, so he's always going to cut in on that inside. And I think when you put him in the middle, that gives him, with the power that he has on the ball, with the strength that he has to shield men away from the ball, I think that just makes him all the much better in the midfield, because you don't need him to be this pacey guy in the midfield. You just need him to be a powerful man in the midfield. And that's exactly what he is, and it bodes well with everything. So long may it continue. I know you asked about Davies, but there's other players I think too that in their role we just need to see more. Basuma and Sarr, this is a midfield matchup that we've said, I guess this is to get the best out of Basuma, we have to have Sarr there, and to get the best out of Sarr, we have to have Basuma there. Ash, where do you kind of stand with the lineup? What are your initial thoughts on changed and all that jazz?
I tend to agree. I think with Kulu, I think with all of the midfielders, they need to all add goals. Personally, I think everyone needs to step the game up in terms of contribution in the attacking third. We can't rely on simply Richarlison or just Son, because Son's basically take Son out of the team and you're very worried. That's how I see it. So I'm looking for performances, even from like Porro. I think Porro, he's got a great shot in him. I need to see him actually getting onto the end of things and finishing goals. His crossing is exceptional though. So if he keeps up that same vein of form, where he just almost pulls wide, like as a second winger, like you've got Johnson there, but then Porro also pulls wide and he's able to find crosses. If he can continue that form, and I think he had 5 key passes or something like that. And I think Kulu had 5 key passes, but he wasn't far behind. So if those two can match their creativity in terms of what they did last week, then will give for us a lot of problems, because it's really hard to defend those type of balls. I think it's all about rhythm for me, for the midfield too, for Basuma and Sarr. And when I say rhythm, I mean like getting up to the speed of things, getting in consistent form, just used to playing with each other, knowing where your teammates are, patterns of play, knowing where to be, having that speed of thought, making it second nature. Like that's what you want when you're playing in football. When you're playing next to a teammate and it's regular, you want your right-footed players on the right-hand side and you want your left-footed players on the left-hand side. It's as simple as that. And then you'll get the best out of the team. So as long as they're doing their job, box to box, win the balls high up, as we did last time, I think we can give them a lot of problems. But we just need to not drop off. I think at times we steamroll teams in the first half. And then if we don't get that goal, things can get a bit nervous. So mentality-wise, we just need to take the game by the scruff of the neck. And I just want to see those fullbacks that do invert. I want them to start putting chances away because they're always in good positions. But you just need to be brave now. Be braver on the ball and take a chance, make it happen. And especially like there's going to be times when Nottingham Forest do have the ball and they're going to try to transition us quite quick. That's when the space happens. And that's when I want to see 3-4 passes into the final third and then attack. Do you understand? Other times, and like I see why people criticize our midfielders like Basuma because he does the short passing, but I personally think it's a tactic where I was taught this anyway as a midfielder. You do 3 or 4 passes, short ones, to draw the opposition in, and I've seen this early in the season. So you do 3-4 short passes to draw the opposition in, and then you hit that ball into that space because you're trying to create little gaps in and behind that front four. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why I see like when Basuma does those little passes and it looks like he's being lazy. Nah, what he's trying to do is what Brighton do. They stand on the ball and they invite you that way. We do it in the midfield. And that's why we sometimes go sideways and we slow it down a little bit, so then we can speed it up and then find a way. Because sometimes it's hard. You try to go on the outside, you cross it. We got frustrated against West Ham. We tried to play through the middle. West Ham were congested in the middle. So I just noticed that as a tactic. But again, it's all about the groove, my brother. So it's a Friday. I want them to put the disco lights on. I want them to put their gym jams. I want them to get their shoes on, shine them up real nice. And I want them to shimmy, yeah. That's what I want to see. Shoulders dropping and all that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, I can't wait. I'm absolutely pumped for this game. I do like the lineup. I'm glad it's completely unchanged. Look, Ben Davies, hopefully he puts in another great performance like he did against Newcastle. Hopefully it's not a one-off. Also, Richarlison, another one, hasn't scored in back-to-back games since Everton. So it's a big chance for him today to put that hoodoo off his back and go on and try and maybe sort of reignite his Tottenham career or at least get it kick-started. That'd be absolutely unbelievable. I'm delighted Son's out on the left-hand side. For me, I think he's so much better out there. I think when you play Son through the middle, you sort of lose that creativity, that someone that's willing to drive at players. For me, it was great to see Son driving the fullback back into his own box backwards, getting on the ball at halfway line, driving at people with the wind at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, just gliding across his hair as he's just absolutely sprinting down the hollow turf of White Hart Lane. No better sight. So for me, absolutely delighted to see that. I just think with Johnson on the right, Son on the left, and Richie down the middle, I think the forward line looks so much more balanced. In terms of midfield, Papa Matasar, huge game last week for us. For me, I think we need an absolute massive game again from him today. What he's crucial at is, and I think it goes unnoticed a lot, is he turns over more ball than any other Tottenham midfielder in there. I think he averages on about 7 turnovers a game, which is absolutely huge for us. You've seen both sides of it last week. One up in the forward area, he turned it over for Brennan Johnson, who hit the post with his resulting shot, and then one back in the right-hand side where he got back to help cover Porro, took the ball. But what I love most about it is the kid had the bravery to play out from the back, and I absolutely love it. He's only going to go from strength to strength. Basuma, much better last week. However, I still think we're missing that bit where he can get on the ball and drive at players. Now, look, that could, like Ash is saying, that could very well be a tactic where Postecoglou's maybe asking him not to do that so we don't leave ourselves exposed maybe on the counter and stuff like that. That could very well be a tactic. But look, all we need to do is pick up from where we were against Newcastle and replicate it again tonight. It is going to be a lot harder to break Forest down. As Ash already said, they're going to have a lot more bodies defensively and in that box. But it's about us trying. What I don't want to see is us falling into the trap that we've fallen into against low block teams before, where we keep cutting inside and we keep playing everything in front of that back line. When they play 5 across the back, what you have to do is put balls in the box, constantly put them under pressure, constantly have them thinking, and constantly have them moving. That's the key to this game today. What I will say as well is Forest has only scored 2 goals in a game this season. They haven't scored any more than that. So if we score 3, it's lights out. It's job done. It's 3 points on the board for Tottenham. But look, guys, I'm going to leave you and Jacob to finish this off. I do have to head off. I've got my own stuff to be doing. But it's great to once again, keep these pre-match build-ups going. Great to speak to the We Are Tottenham TV army. Yourself, Ash, yourself, Jacob. We need to get you on the channel as well. It's been too long. But guys, I'm off. I'm going to have a nice cup of coffee before I get ready for this watch big game today. Come on, you Spurs. In the mighty yard, we trust. And if you do like what I have to say, feel free to get across and smash and subscribe on my channel. Make sure you come back because Jacob will put his link and Ashmatic's link in there for you at the end of the show so you can get across and smash the subscribe on theirs as well. Guys, that's it from me. See you all tonight. Hope we'll be talking about 3 points. Let's go.
Like yes, Irish yes, big up, my bro. Love every time.
Big up, Dave, every single time. And if you want to catch him more, the link is in the chat. The link is also in the title of this video. So honestly, you don't got to go anywhere. You can just click it. It'll pull up a new window. You can subscribe to the boys over there. Doing a great job. Look, Ash, we didn't get a chance to speak on it, but don't worry. I saw a few people in the chat like, hey, what's going on with that bench? What's up with that bench? And there's really only one change to the bench. Yago Santiago. Sounds like a South American explorer of some kind. But Yago Santiago is not on the bench, my friend. It is Eric Dyer. So on the bench, we have Fraser Forster, Emerson Royale, Dorrington, Dyer, Højbjerg, Skip, Brian Hill, Jamie Donnelly, and Alejo Veliz. Bench not looking very sturdy, shall I say? What do you make of this bench? I mean, obviously we got Højbjerg and Skip. I think them and Royale probably make an appearance. Well, what do you make of this bench? Is this just, we knew this, right? We knew going into this, our squad's pretty thin. But yeah, boo Dyer, he's on the bench. But hey, he almost had an equalizer versus Chelsea. We might be talking to Dyer a little bit differently had he done it, but he did not. So Ash, where are you at with this bench? Do you see this as a major weakness, or is it weaker than usual?
January. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm just saying January, bro. Like, if we're not saying, if that ain't a message to the board, like I don't know what is. Trust me. Ange already came out and said, look, we're gonna find out if I've been naughty or if I've been nice. I've got my little wish list, and hopefully,
you think you think that was directed at the board?
You I don't know. So? I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it like that. I think it may not have been, but I'm just saying, like, hopefully we get what we need in January. And he said that he wants a centre back first of all, straight away, which doesn't bode too well for Dorrington. But I think midfield, wingers. I think, like I said before, if anything happens to Son, it's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good. So yeah, for me, wingers they're gettable as well, because a forward will cost you an arm and a leg. So I'm trying to be realistic here, and I'm thinking, right, if we're bringing on a Skip and we're bringing on a Højbjerg, it's not very attacking, is it? I know we've got Donnelly, and I would love to see him. But I feel like Ant is only playing him if the game's done and dusted. He's not bringing him on like
last week. It was done. Last week it was done and dusted.
Yeah, I know, and he still didn't bring him on. So that just tells me, like, is he putting up trees in training? I don't see him. I can't even have an opinion on him, because the level of under 21s versus men's is so far. Do you know what I'm saying? The last player we had was Skip. Skip came from the under 21s. He went to Norwich first, played men's football, and then he got his say for us. And then even now, people are throwing Skip on the bus. I would hate that to happen to Donnelly. Like, and I do understand why people are saying like they'd rather see Donnelly than a Skip, because we've already seen Skip. Like, let's see something new. Let's be optimistic about, because that's what you want to be. You want to be optimistic as a fan. You want to see what could be great. Do you know what I mean? And he plays in an attacking position, whereas Skip plays as a 8, I'd say 6'8", more than 8. I know he played as a 6 at Norwich, but when he came to us, I felt like in that double pivot.
Oliver Skip, lest we forget, who Joel Matip was giving a piggyback ride to on that game winner versus Liverpool this year, it was one Sir Oliver Skip. So he will get into dangerous areas. Last week, remember, he kind of froze when the ball fell to him and he's staring at the goalie like, am I
Whoa.
onside? Here you go. And he kicked it and the goalie saved it with his knee. So he almost got a goal last week
You
too.
almost got a
Skip.
goal. You almost got a goal.
Yeah. Look, Skip on the bench is just kind of where we're at. We know that. Eric Dyer, we have two center backs on the bench. So that's actually interesting to see. We haven't had two center backs on the bench in quite some time. So glad to see that there's not two goalkeepers, because I didn't understand that. But look, there's almost 900 people right now in this chat. So first of all, I hope you are too blessed to be stressed on this very beautiful day. And secondly, make sure you are hitting a like on this video for We Are Tottenham TV. Is absolutely free. It goes a long way for the boys Ben and Sim. So make sure you are hitting a like and subscribe to the channel, etc.
One question I wanted to ask you is, obviously Son's going to the Asian Cup. Who supplies Richarlison with the assists when he's gone? Who do you think comes in that position? And does Richarlison down tools because of it? I know it's a hard question.
That's yeah.
Where are you?
Look, I think everyone's proven. I mean, in regards to this front three, I think everyone's proven that they've been somewhat unreliable. Richarlison's messed up a few times. Hill's messed up a few times. Son's messed up a few times. And, you know, there are moments where we are unreliable. But I don't know. I can't think of the best way to answer that question, Ass. It's a very tough question. But what I would say is, I don't think Richarlison would down tool. I don't think there's any reason for him to down tool. There's a reason for him to step up and capitalize on what he did yesterday. Now, the Asia Cup, with no Son there, no. I don't want to talk about it, and I don't want to think about it. So what I do want to think about, we're not going to think about that, Ash. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the chat right now. This is your moment, your time to shine. Get involved. Hit us with your score predictions before we end the show. We got about 13 minutes in the show. And if 900 of y'all send us your score predictions, it's going to take a minute to run through them. So get them in the chat right now. I will go through as many as I humanly possibly can. But Ash, while they do that, I need to ask you.
Go on.
What's the score prediction today? I don't want to talk about Asia Cup. I don't want to think about life without Son momentarily. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. So I'm going to divert. I'm going to deflect away from that question, and we're moving on to predictions, Ash. Also for the sake of time, because the chat is absolutely flying. Big up, everyone. I see y'all with your chats. Ash, what are you thinking, man? Score predictions. Who's scoring your goals? I also want to know who's scoring your goals.
Yeah, so last week we spoke about your doggy, didn't we? And then I said about Porro. I think this time Porro gets on the score sheet. And I'm going to keep it with Sonny. Porro and Sonny. Johnson could get a goal because he's at his old stomping ground. It would make sense.
Hey,
you know?
A little extra salsa on the chip. You know what I'm saying? A little extra queso in the quesadilla, if you know what I mean, for Brennan Johnson.
I don't think he would celebrate if he scored. I think he would be like, he would do something like that. Or he might just be like, I don't know. He might just, he might calm down.
Hey, hit him with the Selena Gomez calm down, maybe.
Yeah. But, I just think it's going to be a little bit frustrating at times. I don't think we're going to blow them away, but I think we'll get the job done. I don't think it will be workmanlike. I just think if we were a lot more clinical and the chances we did create, then we would be formidable. But I just think a 2-1. That's why I'm saying 2. I don't 2-1. I say 2-1, but
you only see
I can't really see them scoring.
Just two?
I can't really see them scoring. I don't know why I'm giving them respect like that, but I just think, and even like the high line, I think everyone talks about a high line. A lot of ops, are talking about a high line. They're talking very smoky because they're hating on Ange. That's why. But we've got the second best defensive high line, meaning that we're catching a lot of these teams that are trying to hit us on the counter attack offside, just below Aston Villa. Well, not just below Aston Villa.
Real quick, Ash, I've seen some sevens You're saying 2. The people are saying some 7s.
And I'm
Do
here
you
for it. Like,
see a world in which we hit 7 on them? I'm saying we could create minimum 7 chances. Maybe we capitalize 100% of the time, or we create 14 chances and we're 50% successful. Do you see a world, Ash, in which we go out there and bang, 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 and then on the second half, bang, bang, bang? I think that's 7 bangs.
yeah, no, it's possible. It's possible. But I'm just looking at how we perform in this season at the moment. Unless Newcastle is a turning point where we're starting to finish our dinner, because I want us to be bloated. Oh, my belly. Ooh.
Yeah, I want to keep eat. I want to keep eating until I need it. Yeah.
I want to do like that's scattergun approach. That's what I want. But it's just that Richie, I feel like he needs more than one chance before he gets his goal. Because even that chance, even he scored 2. He scored 2. He scored 1, right? Was it 1 or 2? He scored 1.
Say that again. The
Did he
question.
score 1 or 2? Richarlison.
Who?
Richie got 2,
Yeah,
right?
2 last week. 2 last week, and he had 1 against Sheffield. So he has 3 goals and 3 assists on the season officially,
Yeah.
which is more than Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah, for real.
I'm saying Jesus. I don't know who that is because that ain't my number 9 if you're talking Brazil anyway. But big up everybody getting in their predictions. I'm going to run through a few of them before I rattle off my own. We got some Poro. A lot of people saying Johnson going to get on the scoreboard today, and I love to see it. If I'm honest, Tom 81 with the Sunny too. You calling him, my friend. Jake Backus 3-1 Spurs. Richie Brennan and Romero to get a goal. I love a Romero goal. He almost had a goal last week versus Newcastle, lest we forget. TMO's got a 2-0 Spurs or 2-1 Spurs. Rather, Dan Inwood 3-0 Spurs. Son Kulu and Richie on the score sheet. Min Chi, big up. Min Chi, good to see you. It's got Johnson scoring her goals tonight. Love to see that as well. Faisal with a 0-2 clean sheet. Son Decky got to score goals. Echo Man with a 5-0. I'm assuming for Tottenham Hotspur because I will not read it out any other way. Finn McMullen says Son 2 assists. The man, real quick, Son's assists. Guess who he surpassed in the Premier League last week with his 2 assists?
Ericsson.
Not just that. That's Tottenham. I'm talking about rivals in the Premier League. No, he passed Ericsson for club amount of goal assists in all competitions. But in the Premier League specifically, he just passed a rival whom a lot of people tout very highly. One, Mesut Ozil. That is correct. Yes. He passed Ozil. He has more assists in the Premier League now than Mesut Ozil. So shout out my captain, my only captain, Youngman's son. Love me some Son. Randy Nuno's got Son. Johnson Basuma scoring. Stu McKenzie with a Son. Richie Poro. Kai Hankins 6-2. We've got some high scores here. Stephen Wilson, Richie 2, Johnson 1, Son, Udogi.
He's bad. Man, the energy I need, you know. Like I started off a bit low vibrational. I apologize. I did.
I don't know what. That's what I was asking. Ash, what's up? What's up?
I'm
you said
sorry,
2.
I had a lack of sleep. I had a lack of sleep. I didn't sleep well. My neck was hurting. Oh, making me feel good. Oh, I needed
to stretch. Yeah, once you start stretching, you're like, yeah, maybe I can hit this workout. I feel a little loosened up. Let's see. We got a 2-3 there. Earl Hercules 3-1 Spurs. Son Kulu Johnson. Chippy's got 3-0 to the Tottenham Hotspur. Love to see that. Kulu, I believe, is going to have the mask on. F it, mask on. We ain't taking that mask off yet. He said he likes it. He said, hey, I put that thing on, I become Batman. I become Batman, and the field is his Gotham.
Have another character, live in that kind of...
Hey, think about it. He's like, this is a new role, new me, Kulusevski. How we doing?
I love it.
That's what I'm saying. He's got that new position, new role. He's got a mask on, and he's gonna have some fun in the middle of the park there.
A banger, and I wanted to take the mask off. You know, like Future. So when I take that mask off, I just throw it up in the air, do like a actually like not do a cane because that was a.
I was gonna ask. You mean like a certain somebody that I know? Batu's got a 7-0 as well. He did say 1-0 earlier, but it got the 7-0. Arav's got 4-2 Spurs. Love to see that. Hit the bar with a 3-1. Finn McMullen. Brennan Johnson and Son with 2 assists. Wow, wow, wow. Would love to see that. I do think Kulusevski for me is going to get on the assist sheet. Real quick before I give my score predictions, I am going to put the link for my channel in the chat. If you are interested in finding some more of me, you can find me at United Spurs of America. That's the channel I run over there. America's #1 Tottenham Hotspur fan channel. So if you want to be a part of it, come on down to United Spurs of America. And Ash, while I ask you a question and get you to answer it quickly,
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up the link for yours, unless you can put it in the private chat while I do these predictions. That way we can also get people on over to Southview Coys. You can type that into YouTube. In a moment, I will have the link, and I will put it in the chat. So please do make sure you go over and subscribe to Ash and the boys over there as well. But look, for me, earlier in the week, Ash, I was predicting a 3-1. I was like, modest little 3-1. The chat's got me a little hyped up. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling what I smell what the chat is stepping in. I feel the vibrations that the chat is exuding. And if Tottenham Hotspur can go out there and perform in any manner like the vibes we are having here today with the over 870 of y'all in the house, I think we're gonna go ahead and get the 5-2. I'm gonna say 2. I think they're gonna hit their quota, which is we can only score 2. I think they're gonna do that, but I'm saying 5. I'm saying we're gonna create a lot of, not a 7, not a 6, just a cheeky little 5. Let's kick the weekend off in style.
Hey, if we beat a low block team 5, the league's in trouble. Forget it. I'm just saying from now, because like as I said before, we like teams that come at us, you know. But if we find a way to, like, that means that there's nowhere to hide. If you come at us, we smash you. If you try to protect your neck, we're still coming for you. So that'll be one of the biggest results for me for this season. I'll be honest. If we smash a team, but a team is due a smashing, and if we do get that 5-2, then I think it's the last we're seeing of Steve Cooper, the Nottingham Forest manager. I think he's going to get the sacking. I'll be real if he gets done over like that. So
he's gonna have to hold that when you go to the forest and you start chopping. Sometimes you don't know what tree you're chopping. It ain't my responsibility. I'm sorry for the family of woodpeckers in that tree that's gonna be falling down in just about 30 minutes from now. So honestly, I'm very excited. I'm very thrilled to see this. Ash, I got my last question for you before we say goodbye, and make sure you are sticking around to WeAreTottenham TV. They got a watch along in just a couple minutes. I will start right after this. But Ash, for me and you, what is the final thought you got for the audience tonight?
Oh, final thought, man. Look, before I came over, I was actually watching a documentary on Ange again. Like, I want to read his book. He's got a book out. And I feel like after watching that documentary, and he was giving the talk to the lads, but he just always picks from real life situations, and he just makes it relatable to where that person is now and where they were before. And he was like, you're lucky to play football. You're really lucky to play football. But all those people that put those hours and dedication into your life, you owe them. You don't just owe yourself, but you owe those people that put all that work and said, you can do it when other people didn't think you could. That was his speech. And he goes, I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your auntie, your uncle, your best friend, your coach, but make it someone that was there for you and they were there against the odds. I want you to turn up for them. And I said, yes, because I actually closed my eyes when he was saying it. And I thought about someone. I was just like, that person believed in me. And I said, yeah, you know what? I'm playing for a big hand. You know what I mean? He got me pumped up and me riled up.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what he's saying to the boys. Because I watched another documentary where Madison was talking about, you know, he was Southgate, Brendan Rodgers, how they coach. And he said, Ange, he keeps his distance, but when he says something, like, everyone's ears just turn up. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I feel like this manager is a unicorn. I feel like he's just someone special. We're on a cusp of something great here.
Yeah,
and
absolutely,
so
we are.
If we get to beat some of these, because sometimes we trip up against some of these dud teams. If we can put a performance together and get the result, listen, Listen,
Anything is possible. Well, before I say goodbye to everyone in the audience, I will give you my goal scores, just a little sneak peek into who I think is scoring the goals. It is going to be Son. I think Basuma opens his account today. I'm also saying Udogi gets his second. He said, thank you for the contract. Feeling so nice. Got to score twice. All right. And then I got Brennan Johnson. And for the 5th goal, give me Son again. Sonny with a brace. Talk to me nicely. I think that's what's going to happen tonight. But y'all, it has been real. Make sure you are sticking here and hitting a like before you go anywhere else. And there will be a watch along in just momentarily. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel, hitting the like, etc., and all that jazz. But as always, folks, I want y'all to stay blessed, stay fresh, and up the lads. Come on, you Spurs.
Spurs.